Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90.
Welcome to Makini presents Peak Gaming. Makini presents Peak Gaming. Press start whenever you're ready.
I'm pressing start. I'm pressing start on this. Let's do this.
Online safety bill. If it's just about children, is it just about children, or does it focus on adults?
That should be an elite squad.
Barry, does it just focus?
Protect
It's not.
13-year-old
I'm sorry.
girls.
The elite squad is not about children. Actually, shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So, is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry.
Hang on a second. Let me play that. Let's play that again. Let's play that again.
It's just about children. Is it just about children, or does it focus on adults?
That should be an elite squad.
Barry, does it just focus?
Protect
It's not. I'm
13-year-old
sorry.
girls.
The elite squad is not about children. Actually, shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So, is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Oh, wait. What did I say? It was never, ever about protecting children. It was never about protecting children. Is that it's not a big deal, right? Just it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. So, we have a lot to go over, and I didn't want to draw today. I wanted to game today. I feel like I need to do some Starblade. I feel like you guys need some peak and to start your morning, because we have not reached peak insanity. In fact, we're not even close. The past 2 days, I've been keeping, the past 2 days have been just, how do you describe it? What kind of, what world are we in? Let's describe that. What world what timeline have we entered in at this point? Because now the petitions are out. The petitions are stronger than ever. Everybody is more unified. The internet is in basically unification against this Censorship Act. You have everyone spamming Visa and MasterCard, by the way. Everyone's spamming Visa and MasterCard over this, and we're going to go into that. I got a couple of videos I want to get into as well. And we got this shit. We are in the worst timeline. I agree. But this might be the peak timeline. I don't know. So, good morning, CSF Nation. Game on. I'm Makini, not your sermon illustrator. No, this is not Makini in the morning. It's not the Wednesday edition. I needed to game. You guys needed some peak content in your life. So this morning, we're doing peak gaming. We're gonna do some mod Starblade this morning, even only for an hour and a half. We have a lot to go over, and Jesus Christ, all I can say is just absolute, just insanity. for the past 2 weeks, what I've been ducking up, it has gone so bad that perennial important players from 10 years ago have entered the fray now. And before we get into everything that's going on, before we get into all of the, hoopla and stuff that I want to get into while we get some modded stellar titties in your face. I made a post yesterday, and I want to, I want to make this point clear, and I think I should develop a backbone when I get into this, but should develop a more backbone. But I still post art. I still do the regular things that I do. However, this situation is actually important to me. This entire situation is important to me. So if that is a problem, then I'm going to constantly speak about this, then I am terribly sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Because this situation has now become bigger than what you and me, bigger than, what's been going on, what I've been talking about. This whole situation has gone bigger now. It has escalated. And yes, the word needs to get out. And I am that passionate about it, and I do care about it that much. So, I'm just telling y'all right now, I'm not going to stop talking about this. And if that's a problem, then I appreciate your time here. I hope you got as much as you could out of being on my channel, because clearly you don't want to hear any more of it. And that's fine. But I'm not going to stop talking about this. Okay? So I hope we make this crystal clear. It's just I saw a comment on one of the posts that I made, and I wanted to address it, because if people are having a problem with it, I want to address it. So that just what it comes down to. So, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to let up. I'm simply not going to let up about this whole ordeal. So, we got 6 people watching. Thank you guys so much. To everybody who is here, I can't thank y'all enough. So, if you guys can do me one little favor.
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button and make it jiggle. I really appreciate all you guys' incredible support. Now I'm gonna switch screens out here. We're gonna do a. We're gonna put no. That's not what I want. I want to put. Let's put display capture. We're gonna switch. Give me a second. Let me adjust. Let me adjust the screen a bit. So we're gonna move this. We're gonna move the stuff. We're gonna move the main stuff over to the. We're gonna move the main stuff before we do that. Let me just move all my folder. Let me just move my wall of tabs that you guys see here. We have a lot. Simply put, we have a lot to go over. So, and while we're doing this, I'm gonna pull up some modded Stellar Blade. In the second screen, we'll probably be dual screening the entire time. And we got a lot to go over. So from, what Madam Savvy has dug up, to the payment processors pushing back, or to everybody pushing back to the payment processors, to the UK Parliament basically saying, yes, we hear you, but we're doing this for the children. So the petitions really didn't mean anything. The petitions, I won't. Okay, no. Let's not say that. The petitions actually mean something. It's just, well, they hear you, and they're still going through with it, basically. And let's go ahead, and I'm gonna get into. Like I said, I got a couple of reviews I want to couple of videos I want to get into because so that we can catch you guys up a bit, and we have an update too. So we also have an update as well. So we have a lot to go over. We have a lot to go over. As we get to some stellar booty. Alright, so... But this really is a doxing... And really it is a government-sponsored doxing effort. So let's start with... So we did the UK Safety Act. We counted that one. It's been removed recently. Grand Theft Auto 2 has been delisted from Steam. Polygon. Visa. So this is from Polygon. Visa and MasterCard are getting overwhelmed by the gamers' fury over censorship. Gamers are sending mass emails and phone calls to major payment processors in protest over Steam and itch.io. And what they sent it went to the point where the Visa and MasterCard, what they have done now is basically send automated responses. So I want to show this from Madam Savvy real quick. Let me get to Madam Savvy's tweet right here. So, by law, fictional institutions like Visa and MasterCard must have to have a hotline for integrity, ethics, and compliance complaints. The trending concerns are raised and delivered to the board of directors and become available for customers and shareholders. Since what Visa and MasterCard are doing is unethical, we must report it to these hotlines. Bending the knee to a foreign extremist group is weaponizing their vague terms of service to lawfully approved content is unethical and completely displaces the integrity of the system. They are now operating as a moral police. Despite all the content they want censored is legal. You may submit your complaints anonymously. Ethics Point actually protects your identity. From what I can tell, both Visa and MasterCard use the same site. So, we brought this up on Saturday or last week about this, and Visa and MasterCard have been flooded with reports and the complaints. And basically, this is an effort to say people are basically using the tactics that Collective Shout used on Visa and MasterCard. They're basically playing that same game. And this goes back into what I brought up last week about a quote that I heard from Asmongold. I understand that in most situations you want to take the high road. In most situations you want to, be the better man, be the better person. And generally I agree with. However, there are situations where if they're going low, if they're going to go that low, then two can play at that game. And that's what's going on right now with Visa and MasterCard is basically everyone is basically doing the same thing that Collective Shout was doing to push Visa and MasterCard to take all of those games out of itch.io and Steam. We're doing the same thing against them now. Because, gamers are not going to... We're not going to take this line down. Actually, the internet isn't taking this line down at all. And from what we got from Visa and MasterCard was basically an automated response. It's just the equivalent of essentially an automated response because they've been flooded with so much of it. And it just seems more like a complete... It just seems more like a complete cop-out than anything else. Hope that explains the situation. However, things on the UK front, as you guys saw the video earlier, as you guys saw the video at the start of the show, they have not. This was never about children. This was never about protecting children. I hope you guys understand that this was never ever once about protecting kids, protecting women, protecting abuse victims is, you know, Collective Shout. By the way, we're going to go into Collective Shout because, you know, Smash JT, and because they sent a thinly veiled threat against Smash JT and Madam Savvy, basically sound like they want to take legal action against them, or specifically Ellis Kennedy, one of the spokespeople for Collective Shout as well. So, by the way, this is a modded Raven skin. Like I said, I want to make your morning a little more stellar, okay? I just want to make your morning a little more stellar, okay? A little stellar. I'm just saying. Okay. That is not what I was going for. Sorry. Turn it off, Eve. Thank you. No, I just want to make your morning a little more stellar. Anyway. Stellar. Oh, okay. No, so one thing, the UK Parliament. Let's dive into the UK Parliament real quick. So the UK Parliament has decided that, you know, yes, we hear you. Yes, we saw. Thank you for all of the, you know, the signatures on the petitions, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing. So this is coming from Romanian TV. Go ahead and check this out. What's going on?
The British government have managed to mess with the internet at a scale which no other nation on earth has managed to. It's the fact that they claim it's for child safety, which is laughable, because I see protests being flagged by this. I see conversation about credit cards also being classified as sensitive material, and Wikipedia itself, last time I checked, wasn't a pornographic website, but they are now affected by the British regulation. And British regulation says that any website on planet Earth, as long as it has a significant number of British citizens on it, has to apply by what Ofcom is telling. And what Ofcom is telling is that you need to dox yourself in order to view that website. It also needs to have moderation. It also needs to censor certain topics like anti-immigration sentiments, so on and so forth, right? So, suffice to say, a lot of people don't like it. Especially now that these regulations are coming into the European Union. This is due to the fact that the EU is also pushing for a digital safety bill that's very similar to what Britain is having. And so platforms like X are saying, well, since we already have the age robust verification, might as well put it in the EU now, because why not? And so, the internet is kind of like a shithole right now. On one hand, you have kids that are bypassing this by using Fortnite character, by using video game characters, by using AI-generated videos, which leads me to assume that they're simply going to remove the possibility of scanning your face, and instead you'll just have to dox yourself in order to go online, which...
And that's what it comes down to. And that's what it comes down to, is, you know, government-sponsored IDs, or government-sponsored doxing, basically. You're having to have your ID shown just so you can, access sites, access restrictions, and all that stuff. And basically access the internet in general. And this is where a lot of people have a problem with. And that is something a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have a problem with. We are watching... a video from Romanian TV, Lack of Entertainment, going over this, going over the UK basically rejecting the repeal the UK Online Safety Act. So, and we have shown that it's not about censorship anymore. It's not about protecting children anymore. It never was in the first place. So, but yeah. Yeah, this isn't surprising surprising in the slightest.
That is the exact reason why they started this. And so, in Britain, there was a petition Right now, the interesting thing about petitions in Britain is that if they gather 100,000 signatures, then the parliament has to debate them. So it's not like a change.org petition. It's basically if a matter is deemed of significant public importance, then, well, they are going to talk about it. A lot of people put their hopes into this because in just a couple of days, the petition got 350,000 signatures. And if you're unaware, this is an astonishingly high number. Most of these petitions rarely even get 100,000, let alone like 350,000 in a day. The reason it's astonishing is not just the speed that it got up to, but it's also the historic.
And the government is working with Ofcom on this one, so it's another company who's been heavily involved in this UK Online Safety Act. And V makes a good point. The fact that on the eve, so to speak, on the eve of the censorship passing, on the censorship UK's Online Safety Act passing, there was already a petition going that amassed nearly 400,000 signatures. And I think it was already at 500,000 signatures at the time of this recording. But the UK decided, no, we're still going through with what we're doing because, you know, we need to protect the children, right? I mean, we could bring up, I mean, you know, so you want to do all this thing, censor, basically you want to turn it into a police state. You want to police state everything. And you want to surveillance what people say and do online, everything, which they already been doing, which they already are doing. But this, it goes into a big, it goes into a serious situation with this, and that's what we're leading to. We're leading into Shimonetta, we're leading into 1984, we're leading into basically a police state. That's something that everybody wants to adopt at this point. And it's kind of funny with the UK wanting to say that we want to protect the children when there was a child sex trafficking ring that went on that the UK refused to go through, you know, I'm just saying, and, you know, considering the, immigration issue that they have in the UK, yeah, they still want to act like they protect, they still act like they want to protect children. I'm just saying.
High because I think like the largest petition ever was like 1 million signatures during reverse Brexit.
Yeah.
Right? So that one managed to get that amount of numbers after a couple of weeks. This one in just a couple of days. So you can imagine just how big it would have grown if they would have allowed it the same amount of time like the Brexit.
Exactly.
And so the Parliament had to respond, and what they said
Here, let me
is that
turn
the
the volume
government
down
is
just a
working
little bit
with
more.
Ofcom to ensure that online and scope services are subject to robust but proportionate regulation through the effective implementation of the Online Safety Act. In other words, just dox yourself, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you want to talk about anti-immigration, you need to dox yourself. If you're a person that's a victim of sexual abuse and you want to go on Reddit in order to discuss your experiences, you gotta dox yourself. Like, I'm not even kidding. There are subreddits which are literally for that. Like, people who are victims of abuse, they go there and they talk to other people in order to find ways to cope. They gotta dox themselves now. You want to use a search engine? Dox yourself. And this is like, again, to protect the children. Well, I hope that the children are very safe now. Now, the response is that the government would like to thank all those who signed the petition. It is right that the regulatory regime for in-scope online services take a proportionate approach, balancing the protection of users from online harm with the ability for low-risk services to operate effectively and provide benefits to users. The government has no plans to repeal the Online Safety Act and is working closely with Ofcom to implement the act as quickly and effectively as possible to enable UK users to benefit from doxing themselves. In other words, go fuck yourselves. You know, I predicted that this would happen simply because, historically speaking, politicians would never repeal a legislation just after they passed it.
No.
It makes them look bad. It makes them look incompetent. And what they're hoping is that this blows away, right? Like, they're hoping that people are upset now, but as time moves on, as the months pass, they will be normalized with doxing themselves, and the government gets what they want. Unfortunately, I don't think that will happen, because from
this is something that I don't know if my UK viewers or if EU viewers are watching this, but this is something that I've noticed over the years, and I don't know if they could confirm me on this one, is that, and this is something that I fear, is that what, V is trying to say in regards to, they're hoping this will all blow over so that it becomes very much normalized to provide your personal information, provide your ID and such, like to basically dox yourself, that it becomes a normalized thing, and that the UK will just that UK citizens and EU citizens will just sit back and take it. Like a lot of others, like I've heard a lot of other stuff that they did, and they try to protest it, and it just doesn't go through. And, so that's what I'm fearing here, is that people are just going to sit back and just take it and just accept it as way of life, and just normalizing, doxing and such like that as a way of life. Normalizing having, surveillance on you on the internet for every single little thing you do moving forward. And it's just become normalized. And we just take it as just like, whatever, is a way of life. I am afraid of that. I am afraid it's going to lead to that because the pushback, but it seems that, as V said, the pushback is getting stronger. The internet's not going to take it. The internet is simply not going to take this now. And you don't think that people are going to find ways to go work around this. It's gotten so bad that VPN sales have spiked up astronomically, and now the UK is wanting to shut down VPN services now too. So yeah, this is insanity. This is absolute insanity. Elizabeth says the Freedom of Speech Coalition and the associate sites for advocates for child protection is something us webmasters can use as tag our sites as restricted adults RTA tag. Yeah, it's never about protecting children.
There are websites that are creating themselves with the purpose of stealing people's IDs.
Exactly.
So, do you guys remember when there was that big controversy where another website that looked exactly like OBS existed, and it was like at the top of the Google search engine, and a lot of YouTubers downloaded OBS from that, and the moment they logged in, their channels got hacked. Well, guess what? There's a lot of websites like that now.
Yep.
And so people from the European Union or people from the UK, they go there, they dox themselves, and they experience the joys of identity theft.
Yep.
I think this is
you are opening. This whole thing is that you are opening yourself to identity theft. Let's just be honest. You are opening yourself to identity theft, and we just saw this. The thing is, we just saw this with T, with the T app that me and Mom Bear covered on Sunday on Makini Live. The T app went through a data breach where 70,000 photos have been revealed, 13,000 accounts have had their driver's license and everything revealed, and all packaged in a torrent. And by the way, this was in from Clownfish TV yesterday, that the T app has suffered a second data breach. They suffered a second hack, basically. So even women's more personal IDs, any women who use their account, anyone using the T app, they basically went through a second data breach. So more of their identities have been open to the internet and public now, because you have to require a driver's license and such like that to actually to actually set up an account on the T app. You're either looking at that app is looking at either a heavy lawsuit, a heavy class action lawsuit, or they're going to shut down completely. It's going to be either or, because this is insanity. This is absolute insanity. When they just had a data breach. Just saying. Anyway, let's continue.
Like the internet has ever seen. My advice, and I'll probably make another video for this because this is actually important, and I want you to tell your friends and family about this. My advice is, if you're an adult and you must dox yourself, right? First of all, like try to find out ways that you don't really have to dox yourself. Like, there's a lot of guides on Reddit, there's a lot of guides on Twitter. Like, I'm pretty sure, you know, if you're an adult, you're a savvy person, you can figure out ways to avoid doxing yourself. But if you must, like if you insist on doxing yourself, at least do the facial scan. At least do that, right? Like, do the facial scan. Do not give them your ID under any circumstance. It's not because, like, the company necessarily wants to take your ID, but it's more the fact, like, what happens if they get hacked?
Yep.
Do you want your ID out there? Because I don't think you do. Honestly, it's almost like they're building, like there's no way they don't know that this will happen. There's no way that they didn't prepare for it. Like, I'm genuinely thinking that they're trying to organize a crisis in order for them to justify digital ID or something like that. In order for, after, like, a lot of people are going to be fucked over this, they will say, well, shit, you know, like, what can we do now? Bad people did bad things. We just have another solution now. Digital ID. I'm a skeptical person. I'm from Eastern Europe. I try to think of the worst and prepare for the worst. And hope for the better. You know, so, like, my opinion is that this is probably the worst scenario. And so, I'm going to prepare for it. Which is why I'm not going to give them my ID. At all. Even when it comes to banking. I don't give them my ID.
Yeah, even when it comes to banking, yeah.
Like, this is what they hate, right? This is the type of culture that they're desperately fighting against, and this is why I will not give in. Always use cash as much as possible. Use paper cash whenever it's possible, right? Always take your money out from payment processors, from credit card, from everything. Like, just make sure that your bank accounts are empty. If you have a lot of money, you can invest it in something. You can invest it in a bank, right? Like, there are many opportunities where you can store the money so that it's not in your house. But at the same time, it's not stuck in a payment processor or a credit card. And the most important thing, whenever you do paperwork, do it in person. Do it in fucking person. Our parents did that. I know it's unthinkable now in 2025, but they're trying to push it to force you to go online and then to create the online space into the most totalitarian shit that we have ever imagined. Like, George Orwell wrote about the milquetoast totalitarian regime with film technology. This is a nightmare that even George Orwell couldn't dream.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's going to come from the European Union, from Australia. The United States is passing a similar bill. Like, it's all coordinated. It's happening in the same time frame within 1 or 2 years. And my advice is to make sure that you don't become a victim, right? Do not give them your ID, just face cam. Anyway, let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys on my live stream. Thank you.
Yeah, this has gotten, this has just gotten insanity. This is just absolute insanity. And not only that, I want to steer into another topic real quick. So Polygon makes this tweet, right? That makes it they Polygon posted about this. Well, it was revealed that Polygon, let me go look this up. It was revealed, and I brought this up earlier, that Polygon was actually pro-censorship. That Polygon was pro-censorship. They actually supported Collective Shout in banning GTA 5 in the UK. So I'm just like, what are we doing here? I don't trust Polygon. I really don't trust Polygon. I don't trust a lot of these people, basically. So this is from one of the government officials in Japan. Regarding the Steam issue where itch.io are subjected to expressions and regulations, inquiries to Visa and MasterCard are surging, and it has been intermittently turning on X in its home country. This is likely the first movement of this scale, and possibly the tide may start to turn. But just remember, Polygon was pretty much supportive of Collective Shout in censoring GTA 5 in Australia. So, you know, take Polygon with a massive and I mean a massive grain of salt on this, in my humble opinion. I'm not surprised. But let's add on to this. Hang on, let me just go bring up let's bring up mouth washing. So I brought this up 2 days ago. That the artist and writer for mouthwashing said that the game has been pulled from itch.io, has been banned on itch.io. Well, here's the thing, and some people in my chat were pretty angry about it. For one, thank you to Ray for bringing this up, and Difficulty was furious over this. Well, it turns out that Martin was telling the truth, but at the same time lying at this as well. Essentially, mouthwashing has been delisted on Steam, or hasn't been on itch.io since October of last year. They haven't been on itch.io since October of last year. The game page is up, but you couldn't buy it. I'm not kidding. And if you want further proof, we'll go into V's video to find further proof. But essentially, mouthwash hasn't been purchasable on itch.io since October 2014. So in a way, Martin, the developer, one of the artists and musicians for mouthwashing, who had such a huge hate boner for Asmongold, because Asmongold featured his game, and he said he was terrified of having the anti-wokies playing the game. He didn't want the anti-woke people like Asmongold playing the game. So he was running his freaking mouth when everybody else in the mouthwashing developers were all happy to see their game get a lot of attention, especially because of Asmongold. So Martin, the musician and artist for mouthwashing, was basically telling the truth, but at the same time lying. It's just insanity. This is just absolute insanity. You know what? And here, let's go to here. We're gonna go to this. We're gonna go to V. We're gonna go another video from V, and this is going to prove my point. So let's go right here. Make sure.
By individual on Twitter LARPing at right-wingers, LARPing that they're on our side, that the only pornographic material is going to be banned. Like, if I disagree with the payment processors cracking down on adult games, it's because I'm a coomer. I have a gooner brain. I'm addicted to pornography. It's not that I
and they did say, and let me put it this way, they did say that they were going after horror games because Fear and Hunger is still shadow banned on itch.io. And itch.io openly said that this was not our fault. This was not on us. Visa and MasterCard basically forced our hand. Visa and MasterCard basically forced our hand. So, like I said, I can't blame itch.io completely. In the same way, Steam, they can't be blamed completely for this too. But you're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see more people taking this huge situation to profit and try to profit from it, basically, and try to gain a recognition and attention from it, as we will see later on. So yeah, it's so with mouthwashing, I'm just you just kind of lose any goodwill from me, man. If if this is how you're gonna act, and by the way, using and they're basically using that same what Via's saying, they're basically using that same tactic in the same way that you saw with Collective Shout and their ilk. Basically, basically accusing you of defending CSAM, incest, and grape games is a way to delegitimize the cause. Don't take the bait. Do not take the bait from them, basically. Okay? Do not take the bait. They're trying to delegitimize the movement. They're trying to delegitimize the pushback. That's all they're doing. One second. There we go. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Have an actual argument, or that I stand.
We stand by our own principles. Continue. Oh, snap.
On principles, and that I think that censorship is bad. No. It's just like I just am lying and spreading misinformation when I say that video games that are not adult-oriented are going to be banned. And so yesterday we talked about Fear and Hunger, which is very interesting because like I have the same people saying, well, it's a bad game, it should be banned. You know, it's just like an RPG Maker game, why are you defending it? And it's like, okay, so now we have two standards. Apparently.
Yeah, we have two standards,
One
basically.
standard is if the game is titillating, that it deserves to be banned. The other standard is if the game is not good enough. If it's made in RPG Maker, then it deserves to be banned, right? So like I see that the standards are constantly increasing. Today I found out that another indie game, which comes from what people would say an unsavory developer, and I'll explain why that is in a bit. But on top of that, it's an award-winning game.
Good morning, Ray.
And it's not a game that's supposed to be titillating. It actually does have an interesting story. The video game is called Mouthwash. And
Mouthwashing.
It's a psychological horror game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we notice a theme. Fear and Hunger was a psychological horror game that had adult elements in it. Like, granted, it was dark, but just like Game of Thrones has depictions of non-consensual stuff happening in it. It's got bestiality, it's got underage characters. Like, if you read Song of Ice and Fire, all of that is in the book. But it's not done for titillation purposes. It's artistic.
Exactly.
Like, it's supposed to get the reader to experience a carousel of emotions. And so does Fear and Hunger. And so does this game Mouthwash. Now, this game Mouthwash is about a spaceship that crash lands. And the co-pilot is the character you play, and he is the one blamed for the crash landing. And the crew finds out that the only thing on board, the only thing that they can eat is mouthwash. And so they start using it and drinking it as alcohol. And the game takes place between two timelines, when you play as the co-pilot, and another timeline where you play as Curly, which is before the crash. And so you have to pick up all of the pieces of the story together, and apparently the story was so good that the game managed to get the reward.
Yep.
Now, the reason that I'm saying that
I think it was Indie Game of the Year in 2024.
An unsavory character is because Asmongold himself played this game on Steam, right? Like, he wanted to highlight the game because he considered that it's got a good story. And of course, the developer freaked out and started condemning Asmongold and was disgusted with the fact that Asmongold played the game, right? So, like, at a personal level, I cannot associate myself with a developer that thinks like that. You know, this is exactly the type of culture that I'm fighting against. I hate this idea. It's like, oh my goodness, you associated with that guy. You are the associate. This is what brought us to this place.
It is.
I'm not championing the developer. However, due to the current context, due to the current climate, I do have to raise awareness about this, right? Because I think that the payment processors are a far bigger threat. And when I'm doing activist on Twitter, I was being warned by certain individuals from my side. It's like, hey, you can't retweet that guy, he's a leftist. Hey, you can't talk to that person, like, don't you know what they said, such and such. And my point is that the current internet censorship that's coming, which is from the payment processors, it's from activist groups, it's from the UK, France, the European Union, the United States wants to pass a bill now, the Kids Online Safety Act, it's from Australia.
Yes.
Like, all of these places at the same time are promoting censorship, and they're an alliance between left-leaning people and right-wing people. Like, it's happening, right? And this is coming, like, it was discussed at the World Economic Forum a couple of years ago, like, after the pandemic, they weren't happy with how people communicated on the internet, with how they tried to bypass pandemic measures.
Exactly.
And so, like, they all decided that, all right, well, this would be a good idea, you know, like, what if we can make sure that sensitive topics on the internet are restricted? And take into account that, like, right now, the restriction is, like, if you dox yourself, you can read it. But nothing is stopping from flipping a switch, and then you can't read it even if you dox yourself, right? Like, the AI is already designed on how certain topics get flagged. And we're talking about political topics, not just entertainment topics. Like, protests, for instance, can get flagged. And so this is the end goal, right? And it's being normalized by pushing the censorship into the video game industry, by pushing the censorship to the porn industry, because, like, a lot of people watch these things and do these things, but don't talk about it. And the process is to normalize you that it's okay for stuff to get censored. And so if left-wing and right-wing groups are pushing for this, like, unfortunately, I have to say, I personally, like, I don't know what other people will do, but I will swallow my pride and I will work with literally anyone as long as it can push back against the payment processors.
Agreed.
And there have been, like, many
And
developers
this is important. Okay, and this is important thing is that, you know, the thing with mouthwashing is Smash JT made a good video about a good point about this when this first initial news broke out, was that the devs may hate us, the people may hate us, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we're still going to stand up for their right to have their game be released and have their game be available on all sites. Mouthwashing has every right to be released on all of these sites, and I will stand by that. However, people are going to draw the line, and I'm going to draw the line at, you know, who we truly work with, because the internet is unified. Let's not forget, the internet is unified. People who hate each other are now unified over this. People who have went after each other are unified over this censorship situation. People have common enemies. Yeah, we have a common enemy now. But that doesn't mean we're going to forget, you know, the thing. That doesn't mean that we're all just going to be completely singing Kumbaya the whole time, and we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget the people who are advocating for this in the first place. Because it was exactly what we said. They came for this game, I said nothing. They came for that game, I said nothing. Now they're coming for my games, and now I'm going to say something, but it's already too late. That's what it comes down to. And a lot of the people here are just, and we're going to get into another figure here. A lot of people are just mad about the fact that now their games are getting affected. Now, you know, people in the LGBTQ community are mad that their games are now getting affected too. The people who have been pro-censorship in the first place are now mad that their games are getting affected too. I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not saying that, like, you know, we can't, you know, be unified on this, but understand that don't forget the people, don't ever forget the people who advocated for this. The people who were pretty much going against, you know, owning the chuds the entire time. People who were attacking you. And now we're all singing Kumbaya over this. And I'm like, okay, we can work together, but I'm keeping my distance with you. I'm not going to forget what you've done. And when all this is said and done, yeah, we're not going to be buddies after this. We may have a common enemy, but we're not going to forget that you guys were the one who were advocating for this. You guys were pushing for this. You guys were attacking. You guys were attacking us. You guys were attacking customers, attacking gamers who spoke about this years ago. It's a case of it's a case, I don't want to say we told you so, but it's a case of we told you so. We said this is exactly what's going to happen. I'm serious. This is exactly what was going to happen, and we sounded the alarm years ago. And now you want to, and now because it's happening to you, as just as everybody predicted, now it's going to happen to the content you like. Now you want to speak up. When you were completely, when you didn't say a dang thing, and or either at the same time completely championing it by being very very anti-consumer, anti-gamer, and all that shit. So yeah, the lines have been drawn. We're, we may be on the same page now, but we're not going to forget. People are not going to forget that. People are not going to just let what the past slide over that. You guys were advocating for this, and this is what we get. This is exactly what we warned you about. Sorry, I need to go. I need to get that off my chest, basically.
Of the LGBT community, which, they probably don't like me, and they probably hate everything that I stand for and everyone that I associate with. But they are from the LGBT community, and there are a lot of laws, legislations, both nationwide, but also internal at companies, that prevent people from discriminating against LGBT individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So, they have a hands up, right? So, when they say...
Sorry, it's buffering a little bit. My bad. Sorry, it's buffering a little bit, guys. Just hang on.
Hey, our game was censored and you're targeting LGBT games, I don't necessarily give a shit.
Mm-hmm. We had our games targeted and you're censoring LGBTQ games. Yeah, and people are going to... Yeah, people are just not going to care. You advocated for this, so... And you want to try to sing Kumbaya over this right now. Hey, Loki, thank you for the raid. 1 second, one second, we probably need... My freaking things need to buffer. We're doing a peak gaming today. No drawing today because I just... You guys need some peak. Okay, you guys need some peak gooning today, so... Okay, let's try it. Let's see this one.
The only thing that I care is censorship, right? Any game that gets censored, in my opinion, is horrible. But if you're going to use the argument, oh, well, they're being homophobic by censoring this game, I'll be like, fuck it, yeah, you're homophobic. Why are you being homophobic? Why are you censoring that game? Blah, 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 blah. Even though I don't fucking
hey, guys.
It, and I'm pretty honest, right? As long as it fans the flames, because what I do believe at the end of the day is against censorship. Should have censored that game, right? Oh, saying that it's homophobic is a stronger argument. I still believe it shouldn't be censored.
Exactly.
Now you're empowering my argument. Very well. If this is the language they listen to, well, this is the language I'll speak. If it means that I need to speak a leftist term for them to listen to me, because otherwise they don't care about censorship and they don't care about free speech unless... Fine, I'll say whatever the fuck you want, you know? But hopefully, the culture is going to change and people will understand that censorship itself is a problem. And that when you start allowing them to have the foot in the door, they're going to come in. Saying that, oh, well, I'm only for this censorship but not that. It's kind of like saying, well, I'm for creating the One Ring, but... Okay, so for everybody who's, for the people who just raided and just come in, we're catching up everybody on the 2 days of just absolute insanity with the censorship and everything. UK... we covered the UK basically rejecting the petition to repeal the UK Online Safety Act. We covered the not only that, yeah, we've covered that. We covered everybody basically in unison spamming Visa and MasterCard with complaints, and Visa and MasterCard are just, making these automated cop-out responses. Because, it's exactly what Collective Shout did
to shut down all of those games on Steam and itch.io. And we're at the point, so where we are right now is that there was some news regarding the game Mouthwashing, the indie horror game Mouthwashing, getting banned off of, getting pulled from itch.io, when in reality the game was not available for purchase on itch.io since October of last year. So that's what we're at right now. So just want to give you guys just a quick catch up. Thank you guys so much for the raid. Smash that like button, make it jiggle, guys. This is very important. I want to talk about it.
I just don't want Sauron to use it. Now, if you're talking about censorship regarding real actors, right? Like, for instance, making a movie like Cooties. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree that should be censored, right? But censorship is not an on-off switch. Like, just because I agree with something doesn't mean I want to push the dial to fucking 11.
Exactly.
Like, there are certain things that I'm aware, yeah, like, that certain things should be censored. But I do think, like, when you're trying to censor horror games, maybe you went just a little bit too fucking far. When you're threatening, you know, video game platforms, which, in my opinion, are the modern way of writing books, you're just like the Nazis burning down books because you don't fucking...
Exactly, Snow. Exactly.
That's an argument that's enough.
Let's go and tuck and roll.
Sure, I'll use it. Fucking use anything at this point. It's absolutely disturbing and disgusting what's happening. Like, the rules aren't clear. They're vague. Developers are afraid to make anything.
And they're meant to be, and here's the thing, guys, they're meant to be vague on purpose. It's meant to be vague on purpose. Why do you think so many of us, when we see the, when you turn on a game or a service or anything, you see that huge, end user license agreement, and then we just hit accept all. Yeah, it's meant to be vague on purpose. Just remember that whenever you see anything and you see the whole EULA, the end user license agreement, and you have to scroll all the way down and hit check to accept all to move on to play your game or whatever, use your service, whatever. Yeah, it's vague on purpose. It's meant to be vague. It's meant to have all those things when it comes to EULAs, so make it so that you really can't like sue them in a way. You can't like class action sue them, basically. You know what I mean? So I know it's a long list, but that's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just they do the same thing with the end user license agreement on a lot of your games and services that you show as well. So just want to give you all a heads up on that.
Right now, which means that the AAA industry gets to profit, which means that China and Asia gets to profit because they don't have to worry about this nonsense. And you're also fragmenting the...
Oh, by the way, if you have a problem with Nintendo... By the way, if you're to the people who are having issues with Nintendo right now because of the Switch 2, they're making it so that Nintendo, you can't class action lawsuit. You can't file a class action lawsuit against Nintendo. They basically made it strictly just for that. So that you can't find a freaking loophole in or they have a loophole in whatever they can do. And the same thing with end user license agreement, having that loophole basically.
Internet, like we're going to end up having 3 or 4 different internets, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think like that's an awful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was wrong with the 2010 internet? What's wrong with the 2020 internet? Why do we now need to make sure that, okay, Russia has one internet, China has another internet, Asia has an internet, the European Union and America have a different one? Like who benefits from this? Who agrees to this? And it's ridiculous, because that's what will happen. Like, you'll see sites simply region blocking entire continents because they can't comply with the rules and regulations, or you'll have rules and regulations that disagree with one another. And right now, if you look at the United Kingdom, like search engines are starting to comply to Ofcom. It's absolutely disturbing what's happening. So,
it is.
Yeah, like I think that talking about video games is important because you change the culture. A culture where at least entertainment shouldn't be as heavily censored as it is now. That there's no justification for it, there's no reason for it, and demonstrably, it does not make a better world.
No, it doesn't.
Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section.
Yeah, yeah. So it this is getting crazy, man. This is getting crazy. But It's not over. This is the thing I want to tell you guys. It's not over. So let's go. Oh, what's this? Okay, so it's not over. Remember what I said earlier that, and Kyle's streaming right now. Okay, so remember what I said earlier that, you know, you have to keep an eye out on, because you have to keep an eye out on people who are just going to use this situation to gain profit, to gain recognition, to gain all of this, to basically to grift. Remember how I said that, remember what I said earlier, that just that this whole censorship situation has unified everyone. Has unified everyone. People who have hated each other are now, you know, having a common enemy now. And I said before, do not forget the people who were advocating for censorship in the first place. Do not forget that. Okay? Don't forget that. Just because we have a common enemy, just because we're all on the same page, and you think we're all singing Kumbaya right now, it doesn't mean that we aren't going to forget what you guys did. That you guys pushed for this. You guys attacked gamers for this as well. And Madame Savvy report showed, Madame Savvy yesterday, this is something that Hypnotic put up, but the Anna Valens, the person who went after that 3-tier hit piece on Kirsha, was trying to form an alliance with Madame Savvy, and Madame Savvy wasn't having any of it. Basically revealing the DM leaks and everything, because for one, Anna Valens was actually fired from his job for, you know, reporting on Collective Shout, the Australian feminist group who basically kicked off this whole thing. And now they were trying to, you know, form an alliance with Madame Savvy, but Madame Savvy isn't going to forget what they did to Kirsha. A lot of us are not going to forget what the shit that they pulled with Kirsha, writing all of those slanderous hit pieces to the point where Kirsha had to basically send a note to Vice telling that she was going to lawyer up for it. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I have 19 people watching in the chat right now, guys. I have 19 people watching. Okay? Okay, I had to stop my playthrough. I want you guys to... No. I want everyone to look at the screen. I want everybody to look at the screen. I cannot believe this. Where is it? I want everyone to look at the screen. This is from Permaband on Twitter. Somehow, Anita returned. Yeah. I want everyone to look at the screen. I am not kidding. You cannot make this up. Now, Anita Sarkeesian, one of the OG ringleaders of the gamer, the former head of Feminist Frequency, the one who basically, the original grifter is now involved in this. And this is all to promote a book. So this is from Anita's Blue Sky. Someone give this brilliant book to the puritanical angry mobs who bully payment processors into all but banning prawn games. The reason we have online payment processors is because of sex work. It was invented to pay for Poontang. I really hope someone starts a counter campaign to fight this regressive puritanical nonsense. There are way more people who want to buy support in sex work and sexual materials, or at least don't think it should be banned. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. Guys, I am not kidding. What is going on? Oh my god. Anita is grifting, basically. This is for her new book, by the way. Anita is grifting. Anita is grifting. And the sheer audacity, the fact that you were the ones who were advocating for this 10 years ago. You were pushing this 10 years ago with feminist frequency. And now you want to play. Now you thinking we ain't gonna just forget the shit that you pulled. That nobody is going to forget that now. That we're all just now it's all just water under the bridge now. Is that what it is? Oh my god. Oh my god. Just guys, I don't know how to respond to this. This is insanity. Okay. This is insanity. I can't. I can't. Riot, I can't. Power, I can't. This is the weirdest timeline. Chat, we are in the weirdest timeline. Here, I got another one from V. We got another one from Lack of Entertainment. Here, I'm gonna let V try to explain this because apparently he's going to take responsibility for, you know, he's going to take responsibility for this. So,
now, as you guys know, there's a huge controversy going on right now with payment processors cracking down on Steam and itch.io. Tens of thousands of games getting delisted. People are upset, and also people are joining forces. People are speaking out against the payment processors, giving them bad PR, because apparently, you know, this is why they did it. They wanted to be risk adverse. Like, they didn't want controversy. And, well, it happens that no matter what they do, controversy is going to show up. And so, I was joking. I was like, well, if everyone is joining hands and singing Kumbaya, why not get Feminist Frequency on board? Come on, Feminist Frequency. Now's your chance. Join us against the cisgender, heteronormative, patriarchal payment processors. And she did.
She did.
Fucking did. Look, on Blue Sky, she said, I really hope someone starts a counter campaign to fight this regressive purity.
I'm gonna remember that. We must join together against the cis heteronormative patriarchal payment processors.
Technical nonsense. There are way more people who want to buy and support sex work and sexual materials, or at the very least, don't think it should be banned. It's true though. Like
it is true. She's right. I'm just saying. This just
neither here nor there. Seems I have summoned. I have awakened her. I'm going to be responsible for her, right? Trust me on this one. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Will reflect on me, right? So I take full accountability.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Trust me, bro. I take responsibility for Christina here. Oh my god. Sorry. I haven't her. She has awakened. Oh my god, that's true. I have summoned her and she is awakened. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, Pete. Okay. She's grifting, Elizabeth. She is grifting. She is grifting, okay?
All jokes aside, though, is this a good thing or a bad thing? First of all, I don't think she has any influence anymore.
No, she doesn't.
She's a washed-up has-been. It doesn't
Yes!
have the same sway, the same pool, the same terror. She's kind of like when you play a video game and you have like the boss, and the boss has like powerful abilities and destroys the entire party, but then you can ally with the boss. You can get the boss in your party and he's really weak and barely does anything.
Exactly.
Right? Like this is what we're seeing right here. So, is it smart to join forces with Anita Sarkeesian? What I'm going to say now is going to upset a lot of people, and I am going to get a lot of hate. But that's fine, because I got a lot of hate for saying that the laws that requires age verification and the people that are trying to crack down on pornography, eventually they're going to crack down on hate speech. And I was right. And so I'm used to getting the hate. Anita Sarkeesian joining forces. Okay? I'm creating drama, Chuck. I'm creating drama. Suspense.
Great drama, babe. I have summoned her, and she has awakened.
Like, what is Anita Sarkeesian? She's a grifter. Does she believe in any of this?
No, she doesn't.
Like, look what she's doing. Look what she's doing. She's selling a book. She's selling a fucking book. Do you think she cares about video games or sex work? No, she cares about selling a book. Right? She's a grifter. She's like a mercenary. Like, a mercenary doesn't believe in your cause. A mercenary will betray you when things go sideways.
She did a wedding for herself. I forgot.
To get the very fucking best. Like, out of all the grifters.
Oh my god, I remember that.
I can't think.
I remember that. I remember seeing the photos and she married herself and she did a wedding celebration for herself. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Okay, easy.
Of a better one. Like, if I'm going to get the grifter to send them on the payment processors, I think that is the grifter to do it. And I'll explain why.
I like how V is treating her. V is treating Anita like she's a summon in Final Fantasy. I summon Anita. That's what it comes down to. I love that though. It's fun. She's treating Anita. V is treating Anita like she's a summon in Final Fantasy. It's like you're summoning Bahamut, basically. It's like you're summoning Shiva.
If we get all the gamers in the world, right? All the gamers, they band up and they're really upset and they're screaming about Visa and MasterCard.
Exactly.
They're easily dismissed.
Yeah, they are easily dismissed. I agree.
Some Kumars on the internet, porn brain, obsessed with anime, loser is. You know, you
Maybe we can summon Bell.
Right?
You know, I didn't think about this. Maybe we could I never thought about this. Maybe with our powers combined, we could summon Melanie Mac to our side. Oh wait, bad example. Never mind. She before this.
Say that about a brand name, because that's what she's a brand. Anita Sarkeesian goes after you.
The bundle of sticks were joined together.
Who's a virgin? That doesn't work. This is the reason that I'm also saying that the LGBT people on the side of the gamers in this particular circumstance is not a bad thing, because like LGBT people have laws that protect them, and also within corporations they have HR departments and entire corporate policies that protect them. So the people that want to crack down on the internet seems to be left-wing and right-wing. Like, you got the right-wingers in the United States and left-wingers that want to pass a new similar bill to the one in the UK. In the UK, you have the Conservatives and the Tories working side by side, you know, even though, like, they're kind of close. Sorry, the Conservative, the Labour and the Tories, right? Even though they're kind of like the same thing in the UK, but like, you have...
Hang on, holidays coming. Anita Sarkeesian special effects. Empty all your opponent's pockets. Tell such you won't return it. I'm saying it 3 times in front of the mirror to summon her. Do it. I dare you, Makini.
Evangelical groups working with sex-negative feminists like Anita, which apparently now she's grifting for a sex-positive world.
I know, right?
They're like, you had this alliance, is what I'm saying. Like, you had the alliance.
We have the alliance.
To push back against such a monstrous alliance, I am willing
It's
not
like,
to
it's
work
like,
hand in hand.
bro,
not
it's
to,
like the
be friends.
freaking, bro, it's like the freaking, it's like in the finale of Justice League Unlimited, you have the Justice League and the Legion of Doom all united against Darkseid and Apocalypse. It's dark side. You have Luthor and Superman joining forces. What kind of timeline are we in, guys?
So get them on my stream and promote them and support their Patreon. But at least leave them alone, right? Like if I see someone that's like making an argument against what's happening, and they're like talking about payment processors, and it's like, oh, you're hurting LGBT community. I'm not going to contradict them.
No, I'm not going to
I'm not
contradict
going
them.
to
I
say-
agree.
I know other people will hate me, but like freedom of speech and freedom of expression is paramount to me. It's why I started my channel back in 2016, or was it 2014, when I started my channel to talk about free speech and the fact that I was bewildered to see that the Gamergate controversy was being suppressed and was being censored, and that the people that were running it were trying to censor art and video games. My stance remains the same. And if I have
Believe you me, I'm just gonna believe you me. This is everything that's been happening for the past, I want to say for the past couple years, for the past 2 years or so, for the past couple years at this point, especially with 2024 and everything that we've saw in 2024. This is just GG. It's GG1. It's GG1. It never died, basically. It never died because, well, for one, the people always, for one, the gamers moved on from it, but clearly the journalists and everybody else who were anti, the antis never did move on from it. They kept using it to gain relevance. Everything that went on with like 2023 and 2024 with Sweet Baby Inc. and such like that, I still think this is all part of GG. It's not GG2. I think we're in GG1. And I think this right here, I think this is all part of it too. I think it's just it never ended. I guess according to the world, GG never ended, basically.
have to work with anyone on this particular issue. Just this issue alone, it doesn't mean that I think they're a good person. It doesn't mean that I'm promoting them. It doesn't mean that I even agree with them. What it does mean that on this fucking particular issue,
On this one issue,
I'm willing to look the other way.
yeah.
I don't care who does it. I genuinely don't. If Anita Sarkeesian actually manages to start a campaign and to talk about payment processors, good for her. I'm not going to attack her. I'm not inviting her to my house. I'm not going to let her meet my son and talk to my wife, right? But at the same time, not saying shit about her. With anyone, actually, left or right. I know a lot of people would disagree, right? I know some people.
Oh, no,
would think,
totally.
"Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, well, it is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do. I know a lot of artists and people that were absolutely devastated
Exactly.
by this. Like the fact that they didn't get a warning.
Exactly.
The fact that they invested a lot into their video games, and just to have the rug pulled out of them for the fact that they didn't do anything wrong is unfair. And in some cases, it's cruel, because I know like some of those artists were barely making ends meet. And so what happened with them, like, it actually affected me, because I knew a lot of them. And not that many people were even playing their video game. But they were hoping that their video game is going to be one that they can put on their resume, so that they can do some safe for work stuff, so that
Yeah,
they can work for
exactly.
a double A agency and be like, hey, look, I
Just get their
made
foot in the
this,
door.
I know how to code, I know what it is. Please hire me. And that opportunity was stolen from them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think that's unfair. And also, it justifies other stuff that we're seeing in Britain, other stuff that we're seeing with the internet right now, as it's being splintered. Like, for instance, I'm from Romania. If I'm trying to watch the news on Twitter, I'm getting the British safety. And it's like, come on. Someone needs to push back against it. And at this point, it's pretty grim. Because the people pushing for it have a lot of money. And they have a lot of pull and a lot of sway. What we got is each other. And apparently, Anita Sarkeesian with 2 retweets and 44 likes.
Temporary truce
I
is
don't expect that
ceasefire
she
at
will
best.
join the fight, to be honest. I do expect that she tried to sell the book.
Oh, yeah.
However, you know what? It would be fucking funny. Like, if she joins the fight, it will be abso-fucking-lutely hilarious. Strong X to doubt, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Emerald. It's a temporary ceasefire. you could say it's a truce, a temporary ceasefire, whatever. It's just insanity. It is peak insanity. We haven't reached peak insanity yet. And I think that might be just the case. I really, really do. I think that might be just the case at this point. That we just have not reached peak insanity yet. So, I know I need to do some. Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and switch over to the main. Switch over to the main one. So, before, so just so I could cover my base a bit. Just so I want to cover my bases a bit, I want to, let me do something real quick. I want to make sure I'm going to copy and just put all the links to all the videos we watched. I'm going to put everything in the link in the description, so that way you guys can check it out yourselves. That way you guys can rewatch it yourselves and such like that. But please, you know, be vigilant. And I think that's the best way to put it. Just please be vigilant about this. Remain vigilant. Don't just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of, you know, who's aligning basically. Because now Mam Savvy is working on a video right now going further into who is like backing Collective Shout, who is really backing these payment processors, and who is really supporting all of this is going on. All of this nonsense, basically. All of this censorship hoopla that's going on, basically. You know, and you don't want to forget that. You really, really, really don't want to forget any of that. You know what I mean? So, let me go ahead and put this in the, so we'll go full screen. I only got, like, what, 20 minutes tops. I only got like 20 minutes tops, so let's go ahead and I'll just talk the rest of the way through, okay? But yeah, links in the description, guys. Please check them out. If there are more censorship news, which there will be, I guarantee you there's probably going to be plenty more today. I guarantee you there's definitely going to be plenty more today. We are going to cover it. I'm going to cover it. So just give you a heads up. So if there's any more censorship news, I will be covering it. I'll cover it for the Friday show. This is just absolute insanity. This whole thing is just peak insanity. No, it's not even peak insanity. It's we haven't even close enough to peak insanity at this point. This is where I'm going to continue a Soul Blade playthrough. But, you know, I want to hear what your thoughts of, though. I do want to hear what your thoughts is. So, say my name in the comments, guys. Let me know. I would like to hear what your thoughts of, especially with all of this. The thing that I'm worried about is that there's such a huge push against MasterCard and Visa, but understand that Visa and MasterCard own 80%. They have control about 80% of, you know, all purchases now. You know, everybody uses a Visa or MasterCard, basically. Everybody's banking is almost universally controlled by them and such like that. You know, yeah, Elizabeth makes a good point. World Economic Forum / BlackRock, it was them from the start. This is beyond evil. It is truly evil organizations going on here. But this is supposed to be under the guise of protecting children, protecting women, and abuse victims, as Collective Shout wants to stand out as. Where it's just, you just want to control what people pay, what people actually, the stuff that people want to buy. You want to control that. You want to control people's money. You want to get, let's put it this way. Put it in this sense. We're basically the money. We're basically the only thing standing. The customers, the people. We're the only thing standing between them and our money, and that's what they want. They want our money. In fact, they don't want to just give it. They want to take it, basically. And we're the only thing standing between, you know, them and wanting your money, basically. That's what it comes down to. And this is what it all comes down to. It is greed and such like that. So, just, something to not forget about when it comes to this, when it comes to this entire situation. But they want control. They want you to be mindless sheep. They want you to conform. They want you to, you can't ask you're not allowed to ask questions. You're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to object. You're not allowed to do anything. You have to, they're basically, it's basically you're forcing to do this. They're forcing you to do this, basically. They're forcing you to have to conform. And this is where, and I know it goes into a broader, it goes into the broader argument with freedom of speech, but for me, I will always be freedom of expression. I will always be freedom of it. I will always stand for freedom of expression, and because this is an attack on artistic expression, and it doesn't stop. It will not stop. So the pushback has to be, so not only do we have to keep the pushback strong, but we can't just, we're not going quietly into the night. Let's put it that way. We're not going quietly into the night, as it's basically shown by, as we're seeing from everybody, is that nobody is going quietly into the night about this. So, but however, it's a slippery slope. It's the domino effect, and honestly, to everybody's in the UK, you got our support, but the UK Parliament, UK government has basically just strong-armed you guys at this point. And it feels like the pushback is just, it's going to get worse. Okay? It's going to get worse. It's going to get more insane in regards to this. And, it's going to... Let's put it this way. Is it going to get... Are gacha games going to be affected? I think eventually everything's going to be affected. I think everything is going to be affected eventually. Between even the stuff that we praise in like China and South Korea and Japan. Japan's got hit. Japan got hit big time. Who knows if even if China might get affected too, or South Korea might get affected. Other countries will get affected too by all this. It may get to the point where some gacha, gacha games will just not want to, may not want to, it may get to the point where gacha games may not even want to be released here in the, released here in the States, you know what I mean? Not wanting to be released here. I guess if you catch my drift. Not wanting to be released globally. It's gonna push, I know not trust her, but we might need her help. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what it comes down to, man. Because everybody is so unified against this. Everybody is so kumbaya against this, We're all not on the same page. And that's crazy, isn't it? That it was this situation that unified us together. You know what I mean? How insane is that? But I have every right to speak on it, though. That's the thing. I have every right to speak on it. And, I wanted to make that post kind of talking about, that one person who was just like, I'm just going to unfollow. And, thanks for the artwork anyway. And I'm like, okay, suit yourself. But is there a reason why you are unfollowing though? Because you announced it. You basically announced it in a public post, and I'm like, okay, like, are you like what's your deal? Like, I guess the question is, what's your deal? Does it I'm sorry if this is important. Okay, I'm sorry if this is important. I'm sorry if I have been talking about this for years at this point, and this is bubbling up to the surface. I'm sorry about that, but I'm not gonna just sit back and but this is something where I fought for, and these are the hills that I'm willing to die on. And I'm just not going to just sit back and just and not say something about it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, you know? Most of the politicians and companies support this cap guarantee to be on the list, you know? And keep in mind, this is the same, you know, FBI that is, this is the same U.S. government that is not willing to release the Epstein files. Just remember that. So, it just makes you wonder, basically. It just makes you wonder. It's just like, okay, so we can't, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going all over the place. Let me try to get my point here. What I'm trying to say is, the same U.S. government that is not willing to release the Epstein files is doing this now. They want to make their own UK Online Safety Act. They want to make their own UK Online Safety Act. And that is a problem. That is a problem. And as Chibi Reviews always said, and as a lot of people have said at this point, the best way to repeal this, if you guys are in the States, the best way to repeal this is to contact your local state, your local governor, your local Senate and such like that, and tell them about, you know, you don't want this bill, this Kids Online Safety Act, to pass because this is going to create long-term ramifications. This is basically censorship under the guise of protecting children, when that was never the case in the first place. You just want the adult. You just want to speak for the adult. You want the adults to. You want to monitor what adults say. Like, it's just like, I'm gonna save this clip from now on. Just remember this clip right here.
Oh, sorry.
Just remember this.
Online safety bill. If it's just about children, is it just about children, or does
Do
it
you
focus on
think
adults?
that should be an elite squad?
Barry, does it just focus?
protect
It's not. I'm
13-year-old
sorry.
girls?
The elite squad is not about children. Actually, shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So, is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Yeah. And by the way, that was Barry Gardner. That's the Labor MP. So this is basically saying the quiet part out loud. And these people, and Smash makes a good point. These people have only pushed so far. They can only push this far, guys. They can only push so far. And this is, yeah, Big Brother. This is something that George Orwell would just question life itself if he saw what is happening, because everything that he was talking about in, you know, with 1984, it's happening, and it's happening probably in worse ways than he could imagine. So this is, it is too much of a government overreach. Come on, PA State. So Pennsylvania has a bill that's pending at the moment. They breach the children get doxxed. Yeah. And this is also about doxxed. What's that about? Pennsylvania one as well. Seth says short hair is Bro. Ever since like my fifth playthrough, I have loved short hair Eve with the Raven suit. Something about that, just like, that's like a neuron activation for me. Also, she looks too much like Ray. She looks too much like Reiko from Ridge Racer. She's the pixie cut like Reiko. She turned me too much of Reiko. That's what I'm saying. What if they made cock? I said that at the start. You know what? That's the funny thing. You bring that up, Sean, and you know I said that at the very start. You know, I said at the very start of this, like this whole ordeal going, is like, you know, when it came to the stop killing games initiative, the stop killing games petition, that you know, you know, we want to see you know, everyone have you know, a back plan, a backdoor for, you know, all these online games shutting down, these live service games, so that people can still play them for game preservation. It's funny how both the stop killing games movement and the anti-censorship movement have so much crossover now. There's so much crossover going on. And I was joking. I think that what happened that we saw with Goonergate earlier this year, I think that was a precursor to what was to this. It was just a precursor. All right, let's do this. All right, we're gonna do this in one go. But yeah, it's just, I think everything that we saw with Goonergate was just like a precursor. I really do think that's what it is. At least everything that we saw was basically a precursor. Yeah, it's just everything is just, it's just insanity. One second. I gotta deal with two of y'all. Oh, you got me. Okay. 1 million, I know, right? It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Okay, that's enough of you. I had enough of you. Gotcha. Yeah, I just wanted to do that. Yeah, just, man, just crazy. Okay, we got 754. Okay, I'm probably gonna go for about another. We could probably go for about another. We'll probably go for another maybe 5-10 minutes. But yeah, this whole censorship thing has opens his mouth to change. Nothing of real value. Yeah, it's just everybody seems to be universally with this, except for a couple of people. Because this one, you know what? I find this hilarious. I got one more video. I got one more video from you. I got one more video, and you know what? Why not? I'm just gonna bring this up right now because this is hilarious. So. I can't grab more, but hang on a second. Let's just bring this up because I find it hilarious. Where is it? It's not collective shot. Is it collective shot there then? No, it's not for. So apparently, you know what? I'll just say it right now. Apparently, in a way to try to dunk on Madame Savvy and try to go after Madame Savvy because it sounded like she signed with Collective Shout, our lovable failed sex worker and former Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante is now wild in on this as attempt to try to get at Madame Savvy, and it sounded like she just taking Collective Shout side with owning the chuds. Dumbass. Because, and by the way, Collective Shout, like I said earlier, Ellis Kennedy of Collective Shout fame is now trying to made a thinly veiled threat against Mab Savvy and Smash for alluding to possibly another lawsuit. And the only thing I can say about that is you're going to have to get in line because everybody wants to sue Smash JT at this point, and you ain't got no case to stand on, especially against Mab Savvy. You ain't got no case to stand on. Nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised. Yeah, let's be honest here. Nobody's surprised. We got 22 people watching. God. Sir. Anyway. 2 people. Here we go. There we go. Okay. They have a lot of these people don't have morals. And that's the thing you have to remember. A lot of these people just simply do not have morals. Ellis Kennedy is, yeah. Well, it's not TDS, not Trump. It's just she claims that she wants to protect. She claims that stand up for little girls, stand up for girls and women and such like that. And I'm like, you went after a bakery just for having a shirt that said, just because the employees were having a shirt that said, best buns in town, and somehow that equates to a potential sexual harassment. Oh, no. Shit. Oh, come on. I fell off. It's crazy, man. This is just insanity. That's all it is, man. That's why I'm supposed to go through this whole playthrough, no problem. I'm supposed to go through this playthrough, no problem, man. What the hell, man? What the hell? It's alright. We good. No, man, it's you know what? I've died less times than I did in my first playthrough of I'm still on my I'm still like early in the game on Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, and I've died like 70 times at this point. And that's my first Souls like experience too. But just they still yeah, we still have one more. Yeah, we still got one more. Okay. We still got one more than the roller coaster. I think once to make it to, let's see how quickly we can get this done, and then we'll get to Lily's Atelier, and we'll see if we can wrap it up from there. Let's see. But yeah, man, it's just crazy. The whole situation is, I guarantee we're gonna hear more news about this today. Now Chibi Reviews is gonna have to be away for a bit because he has some surgery he has to take care of. So he might not be able to make videos for a couple while, but you can damn well know he's going to keep an eye on everything that's going on with this censorship situation, because this is serious. This is real serious, and I think this is very important for everybody to bring up. I'm still going to do the regular things I'm going to do. I'm still going to post art and all that good stuff. I'm still going to do word doodles and stuff like that, but a lot of my talk is a lot of the talk on the community posts will be about the censorship, because they're not gonna stop. And that's the thing. They are not going to stop. Alright, let's see if we can do this in 10 minutes. Because that's the thing. They're not going to stop, and it's going to keep going. Alright, that's the last one. Okay. Hey, Anime Mania. Good morning. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Listen, I want to say thank you to everybody who commented on that post yesterday. Yeah, it was just, I do think at some point I need to start growing thicker skin. I think I really do need to start growing thicker skin when I get comments like that. But you know what, and I probably lost a sub too, but you know what, that's fine. That's fine. You know, I know who's actually going to continue watching, understand that, you know, I have every right to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this. I don't care if it turns people away. Because this is an ongoing situation that it's got to change, man. Okay. Okay, nothing can save you now. Oh, still got one more. Hang on. Ooh, there we go, there we go. We still got one more thing. Okay, I'll still have to wait. Okay, never mind, never mind. Oh wait, yeah, yes, we can. Okay, we can open it. No, it's just I'm gonna still talk about this. I'm still gonna bring this up, man. I'm still gonna bring this up. I missed a fight. What happened? Every right to talk about. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep you guys informed, and that's the ultimate thing. Is just want to keep everybody informed on this whole situation. I want to keep everybody informed and up to date. There we go. Okay, and that's oh man, people are speaking out because everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to be aware of this, though, you know. And because it's the thing with the censorship is that it doesn't stop with one thing. It doesn't stop with oh bother and ting. Oh, he just said I'm a subbing, and he let cordially don't bother entertaining it with his community phone. I just seen it. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just that you want to announce that and just be like, okay, but I'm like. I just don't get it. Sean, I get it. You're right, and I probably should listen. Everybody else let this go. Shania made a community post about it, but it's just when I see comments like that, and I'm like, okay, and this isn't the first time it's happened. I'm like, dude, I have I have a reason to speak about this, man. I'm still doing the same things that I've been doing. It's just, this is, let's be honest here, this has become priority for me. And to anybody thinking I'm grifting by talking about this, like, no, I wanted to sound the alarm about this for a long time. And I've talked about this numerous times before. I've talked about this through last year. And it will ramp up, man. It will ramp up. It will continue to get worse. Don't think we have seen, like, all of it, like, oh, this is the end. No, this is... I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to continue going. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Because they don't know when to stop. And it feels like there's no, and it feels like is there a way out of this? Is there going to be a light at the end of the tunnel? Is there going to be, is the pushback going to be strong enough? Because this is not a left versus... This, you will not see, this is not a left versus right issue anymore. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue, no, because everybody's unison. Because both sides on the political aisle are in unison of this censorship. This is control. It's control, man. And, yeah. Yeah. Dude, I ain't gonna apologize for that shit. I ain't gonna apologize for what I say about, you know, wanting to attract women in your media, especially in video games, because they're gonna take that away too. It's just a matter of time. Because it used to be demonization. It used to be demonizing us for it. Now they want to take it away. And they want to try to use, and it's just like you have groups like Collective Shout that want to use this as some kind of shield to protect women, as some kind of shield. Using under a guise, man. And that's like, I can't, it's dishonest. It is beyond dishonest. And you know that it's dishonest. And the gaslighting, too. Like, and that's another thing. They try to gaslight, these fools try to gaslight you. Don't take the bait. They are it's crystal clear the points you're trying to make. They're just misconstruing it. They're just trying to gaslight you. It's like, no. You know exactly what we're trying to say. You know exactly what people are trying to say. What people are trying to protest right now. And by the way, it's going to the point where UK is censoring protests. UK is actually censoring protests now. But you can't, like, you have to have a legal ID to watch this protest or that protest. You want to say about protecting children, yet you went out of your way to not even acknowledge a child sex trafficking ring in your own country. You know the shit that's going on. You know the crap that is going on. You know that the crap is going on that is affecting UK women right now. And y'all don't want to bring this up because, you know, y'all don't want to be marked as racist or shit like that. Cultural enrichment, right? I guess we'll call it. Sorry, I don't get into politics, but I find it really funny. I find it funny that you want to say that UK was all about we want to protect the children, yet you had yet when there was a child trafficking ring, you didn't say about that. You want to say about a lot of what's going on in the streets too? On one end, I'm like, this has got to stop. But the same end, I'm just like, you guys get what you deserve, man. No offense, but you guys really asked for it. You asked for it, and I'm like, okay, this is how you want to play. This is what you want to do? Okay, fine then. We tried. We tried. People have tried to warn you. People have tried to protest and say it's trying to bring out the quiet part out loud. And I'm just at the point where I'm just like, maybe the UK is just that far gone. Maybe a lot of, you know, governments that far gone, man. Maybe it's good that I didn't. Maybe it's good for the past, 3 elections? I went independent. It's like, it's anti-fun. It's anti-fun, man. I'm trying, Sean. I'm trying, but I ain't gonna jump in on that. So, okay, we're going to. I'm gonna let the cutscene play out. We're gonna let this whole scene play out of Lily's Atelier, and then we'll wrap it up from here because I do need to get ready for work. But yeah, this is insanity, and I will keep you guys posted throughout this whole ordeal. Okay, let me go full screen. Or no, you can't see full screen. Well, I can't pause it either. It's fine.
This is my favorite green garden. Have a look around.
It clips through the drone. It clips through the drone. I never get tired of scenes like this, though. And yes, that Raven suit is a mod. It's a mod, so. Sydney Sweeney reaction stream tonight. Oh, I can't wait. I'll tune in for that, Sean. Maybe we could drop some Sydney Sweeney. It's like. Hold on, let me switch over to let me switch over to the full screen overlay. There we go. Thank you all so much, guys. Zillick said we'll go full screen. so you can... Alright. Are we missing anything? I think that is everything. That's incredible. You know, yeah, they would take stuff like this away. You know what I mean? They would toss like, oh, I forgot. YouTube is now wanting to. I saw that YouTube wants to step in on this too now, and I'm afraid this is going to affect YouTube as well with like the age verification. Like, damn, Two Reviews made a video about that. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that out, Anime Mania. Dang it. Yeah. I know, right? Is
Yes, except one thing.
What is it?
Actually, I wasn't alone here. I had a colleague who also survived.
we'll let this play out. We'll let this play out.
Iberis.
We'll let this play out.
Latest hack,
Alright, partnership program.
and the comrade I cared most about. He was saved a year ago due to body cell damage. Sorry for leaving you all alone, Iberis. I'll come and visit you often. This contains a deep algorithm hacking system, along with Iberis's memories. This is what she left for the world. Her legacy. Thank you for waiting. Let's go now. Iberis. Goodbye.
What is Adele lose a weight thing? Right? Okay. Alright. So this is where we are going to end it because I gotta get ready for work. Anyway, you guys have been freaking amazing. Thank you all. Seriously. Thank you, everyone. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Loki, for the raid. All of that good stuff. And, of course, you guys do me a favor. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. We'll have, hope to have some more stuff later today to get some, I gotta get back to making videos again, man. But yeah, it's just been crazy, man. It's just been crazy. And like I said, any censorship, I will be keeping a close eye on this. You know for a fact I am taking a very close eye on everything that goes up with the censorship and such like that. So thank you guys so much. Follow me on Newgrounds, Etsy shop, Twitter, links in the description. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and I'll see you all next time. I'm Makini 90, artist, drummer, and illustrator. Thank you for tuning in to this little Wednesday morning edition of Makini Draws presents Peak Gaming. And until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love, never apologize for wanting attractive women to your media, especially in video games. Stand up to fight against censorship, guys. Stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. Stay peak. Freaking love y'all. And above all else, never stop drawing. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, guys. I'll see y'all later on the community tab. I'll have some post up. Until then, I love y'all. A little smile for the camera. A little jiggle for the camera. A little jiggle for the camera. A little jiggle for the camera, just for that. Until then, a little jiggle for the camera. Let me turn that. Let me turn the off. Okay. Until then, I love y'all. Peace.
For playing in our world. Now it's time to return you back to your world. Thank you for tuning in to Peak Gaming. And until next time, game over. Peak Gaming is produced by Makini Productions in association with Special Stage Entertainment and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.